Alright, welcome back friends, welcome. My name is Rasputin, also known as Raspew, and this is another chapter in my diary of a Moba player. Please, if you enjoy my videos, please, all I ask is that you like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, it's not going to take too long. Exciting video today, as the title tells you. I did a game with Krashy not too long ago. We didn't team up, it just randomly ended up Krashy was in my lobby. And it was an interesting game. So let's get into it. Alright. Again, I'm playing Kira. My duo is a phase. Krashy, of course, you know, is somebody that's well known in the Predecessor community. Krashy's on Feng Mao. Tyler, I don't know if he's known or not, but he's on Gadget. And then we have this guy Ronald McDonald on Zaris. The Severog, Morigesh, and Bellica are a 3-stack. So I don't know if Krashy was doing with Tyler or if he was just solo queuing. I'm not sure, but I know because I went in on Omeda City and I checked the Severog, Bellica, and Morigesh were a 3-stack. And I guess to balance it out, we ended up with Krashy, a quote-unquote good 3-stack. Because alright, I didn't want to get into this, but let's get into this while we just do the regular lane in phase BS, right? So Krashy on Omeda City he's 2,000 plus, right? LP. The Severog, Morigesh, and Bellica were 15, 16, and 17, or 15, 16, and 18, respectively. Severog, Morigesh, Bellica. Yeah, the Bellica was the highest rated out of the three, but they were a trio. They were triple queued, right? According to Omeda, I'm at the time 900 and something. I'm more now. But I don't really like to talk about it because it shows how it doesn't really, like, LP doesn't really give you an accurate gauge of skill. It gives you an accurate gauge of wins, but it's easier to win if you're playing as a trio and people in your team don't know how to play. You know? So the Severog, Bellica, and Morigesh were a trio, and then Krashy and Tyler they're both over 2,000 LP. My phase was like a 400 LP, and 4 or 600. He's very low, and the Sparrow and the Richter were both less than 1,000. I can't remember exactly. I didn't want to think. But I say all this to say, as the game goes out, I'm gonna point to like certain things that they do, certain things that everybody does that just shows like you can't judge based off of LP, especially when you don't have a solo duo. Okay, so for all those people who be like, oh, well, you know, Omeda's a very good, it's very accurate in terms of your MMR, and no, that's bullshit. It's pure utter bullshit. I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't bullshit, right, then every other game would not make such an effort to have solo duo ranked queue, right? Every other game wouldn't do that, but every other game, especially the most notable Moba to date, which is League of Legends, has a solo duo rank queue, and then they have a team queue. If you want to queue competitively with friends, they have a team queue, right? Fair. So I say all that to say this game will show you that not everybody who has, you know, I'm 1500 LP, I'm diamond, I'm silver, or I'm gold. It doesn't make a difference. If you know how to play the game, you know how to play the game. If you got wins because your friend knew how to play the game, and you just listen to what he said, then you're not really that good. You're boosted, which is the issue I have with a lot of players in Paragon, but it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not complaining. It just is what it is. That's just my take on it. It was clear out of the Sevarog, Morigesh, and Bellica. The Bellica was the best one out of the three of them. It's clear. Hold on. Hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that. I had a call I had to take. So yeah, I'm here trying to see if I can get a kill on the Morigesh, but she doesn't come out from under tower. So I go back to lane. We're just going through it. It was very quiet for the most part, laning phase until level 6. The opposing duo, the enemy duo, hit level 6 before me. Because you know I went to mid lane to try to help. So the Sparrow is already at level 5. So she's gonna hit level 6 before I do. The phase, I know I said in a previous video, if you play in phase support, do not go the slow first. This phase, smartly enough, did not go the slow first. She went the slow, I believe it's second or third. She went the link first, and I believe the blind second or something like that, which was smart on her part. You know, because at the end of the day, the slow is not gonna help somebody if you have people, if a jungler, especially a jungler with a dash and a stun and a CC, the slow is not going to help somebody if they get caught, especially by the Richter or by the Sevarog or somebody. But the pull can. The pull definitely can. So much respect to my support, Los, for making the right decisions and the right choices as a support at playing phase. So must give him much respect for that. And he was able to help me in this game immensely. So, you know, a good support makes or breaks a duo lane just as much as a good carry makes or breaks a duo lane. And another thing I appreciate about my support, and this is another thing, like, so this is going back, and I'm gonna say this a lot. So going back to the whole ELO thing, right, which I don't agree with at all, but going back to the whole ELO thing. So my support is supposed to be under 1,000 LP. I think he was like 800 or 600, right? My support, or maybe less. But he played safer. Maybe his mechanics wasn't the best, but he had the most common sense that I've played. I've played with supports because I'm main carry for the most part. See, the Richter, he flash ulted, which was kind of smart. Except him and Sparrow both didn't have. It was a good idea. It's just that him and Sparrow both didn't have mana to back it up. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I've played with many supports who are quote-unquote higher ELO than me as a carry, and they've criticized my play as a carry because they say, oh, this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, you saw that desync just now, right? A few seconds ago, you could rewind it back. My cursor was red, but I wasn't hitting a minion. But anyway, so I played with plenty of people who they're quote-unquote higher ELO than me, but as a support, they make bad decisions, they make bad calls, they position horribly, they do all these things that they shouldn't be doing as a support. Whereas my support, this time I had to flash out, but then look, she flashed. It was just, you know, like, this support was, this phase was one of the best supports I played with in a while. I must give him credit for that. She didn't overextend, she didn't feed, she did what she was supposed to do. Sadly, I couldn't protect her here because she died. You know, and I didn't have much thing to follow up. I didn't have any mana to follow up. I had like, oh, this is still like, let me move this. Alright, yeah. I didn't have any mana to follow up. But, you know, she still was, she was on board. She was on board with what I was trying to do. She played smart. She used her brain. Played smart, wasn't overly aggressive. Right? So, Krashy goes for, then the Richter, we get the Richter. Krashy goes to the Sparrow, which is smart. And then I was able to clean up the Richter because the Richter decided to walk back through the minions, and then after attacking me and then walking back through my minions was suicide. Like I said that I think 1 or 2 videos ago, I was like, anything until level 8 or 9, fighting in minions is suicide. You know, try not to fight in minions, otherwise you're gonna die because the minions will chunk you heavily, especially in this game. In other games, it's not as bad, but in this game especially, minions will chunk you. So, going back to what happened previously, right? So, we just saw that Krashy just walked right up on the Sparrow, and he started to attack the Sparrow. He didn't even bother about the Richter. He was just focused on Sparrow, right? That's something that a lot of supports don't do in Paragon. They don't save their abilities for peel. There's 2 things you can do: peel, and you can be engaged. A lot of times it's better to save whatever stuns CC you have for peel as opposed to engage. And a lot of supports don't know how to tread that line. A masterful support is somebody who can tread the line between peel and engage and do both equally well. But if you're gonna focus on one, I think as somebody who's played carry in multiple games, I think a support should first learn how to peel. Peel meaning you provide peel for your carry. So if somebody like Krashy in that situation, the Richter's ult should have been saved for if Krashy was to gank. The Richter would have been able to ult Krashy so that the Sparrow could get away safely. The Richter's hook should be saved so that if Krashy was to gank and the phase blinks and Krashy blinks or dashes after her, he could use his pull and pull Krashy back so that Krashy wouldn't kill his ADC. Right? So that's the difference between peel and engage. And a lot of supports, I think, don't know the difference and don't focus too much on peel. They focus more on the plays, on the engage. And yeah, I just don't agree with it. I had to tell the Zarus, it's another thing, which is wild. But I had to tell the Zarus what to build because he was laning against a Belica, but he wasn't building any magic armor. And I'm like, why would you lane against somebody and not build magic armor? Like, I understand that people like to do damage, but you can't do damage if you're one, if you're a glass cannon, and 2, if you get blown up. Right? If you get blown up, you can't do anything. If you're a glass cannon and you get blown up, no matter how much damage you have, you can't do damage if you're dead. So sacrificing some damage for some form of protection is, to me, a much smarter way to play the game. So I had to tell him, the Zarus, to build Dread, and then I had to tell him to build Absolution, because they would provide some form of damage mitigation, especially against a Belica, because that's who he was laning against. He was laning against a Belica, but apparently he just, you know, he couldn't. Krashy dies and immediately wants to forfeit. I guess he didn't think that we could win the game, but I wasn't having it because I don't ever forfeit. I don't care how bad the game is. And that's another thing. That's another thing that's pervasive in the quote-unquote people who think they're high elo. I don't believe in giving up on a game ever, because this is something I want to say. And I hope people see this video. And if you watch this video, please share it. Even if you don't watch the full thing, just clip this part. Clip this part. And share it with your other friends who play Predecessor, who play MOBAs. Here's what you have to understand about a game, right? The highest level you can reach in a MOBA is whatever the high level is. In League and in Predecessor is level 18. The highest level you can reach is level 18. The most amount of items you can have is 5 items plus your crest, which makes it technically 6 items. The Sparrow tried to lay a trap for me there. It was a good idea, but it wasn't gonna work, and now I punish him for it. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna punish him for this. Yeah, so here's the thing, right? I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna get back to my point. This is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. So this is what I'm saying. The highest level you can reach is 18. The most amount of items you can have in Predecessor is 5 items plus a crest. That means it's a finite cap on how strong you can become as a player, right? Of course, you have certain players that get even stronger, like Sevarog, who has 300 stacks. And there's no other stacking players. Zaros can stack. Zaros and Revenant, I believe. No, Revenant can't stack power. Zaros stacks power. Revenant can stack gold with his thing, but you know, that's about it. Other than Sevarog, yeah, I don't think we have any other stacking players. You know, with Sapphire's Mantle, you could stack health, but that's not as much as you would think, because Sapphire's Mantle is on a 120-second cooldown, right? So I say all this to say, if you are losing early game, it doesn't make sense to give up. The reason why is if you farm and you play... I chose not to fight because I had not a lot of health and not a lot of mana. All right, getting back to what I was saying. If you choose to fight, right? If you choose to fight, you just gonna, if they're ahead, if the other team is ahead, you're just gonna dig yourself into a deeper hole because you're coin flipping. It's a 50-50 chance if the other team is ahead that you fight them and you fight that you win the fight. But if you turtle, and what turtling means is if you defend, you play defensively, you clear waves, you try to gain levels, you try to make sure everybody gets the same amount of items, and you get to everybody being level 18 and everybody having in this game 5 items and 1 crest, you run a much higher chance in a team fight. See, just there, you run a much higher chance. Let me just finish what I'm saying. You run a much higher chance of winning the game, but you just have to be patient. And what a lot of people don't do is they don't want to be patient. They don't want to let the game play out. They want to go, okay, we're down by 10 or 10 kills or how much ever levels, let's just quit. And that's not the way to go. Trust me, there's nothing more gratifying than coming back from a deficit and winning a game. Nothing more gratifying. Just now the Bellica missed a stun and got punished for it. Completely punished. Because that's just how the game goes. Even though the Bellica was owning the Zaros early game, because the Zaros started to build smart, he actually listened, which shout out to him. He listened to what I told him. I didn't even check to see if he built the items, but hopefully he did. We were able to turn that around and get, was it 2 kills? Yeah, I think we got 2 kills. One on Bellica, one on Morigesh. Alright. So now we somewhat in the mid game. The score is 15-11. I haven't died yet. I'm 3-3. 3 kills, 3 assists. And just trying to farm. My phase, which is smart of him or her, smart of them, went to help Krashy, went to lay wards in the jungle, which is indicative of a player that actually knows what they're doing. Alright, so this is interesting, right? Alright, Recon 859. Recon 859, who is quote unquote a much higher ELO player than me, just rushed me as Morigesh, and I obliterated his ass, right? Obliterated him. That shouldn't happen if he was truly a higher ELO player than me, but he isn't. right? He foolishly thought that he was just gonna throw something and I wouldn't know what to do. But I had my ult up. He came too close to me because he thought I would run away. But I did. Why would I run away? When if you come close to Kira, I just ult you. And you're in my ult, and my ult does a lot of damage. So again, that's not the decision making of a high ELO player or mid ELO player, right? So don't believe or don't be fooled or gassed by the predecessor database talking about high ELO players. As of right now, there may be 5 or 10 high ELO players, maybe, but in reality, for high ELO players in this game don't exist because there is no solo duo queue.
Ready.
All of this is a bunch of people that are good at coordinating with their friends, and you know, more power to them. More power to them. But there's no high ELO because I just obliterated a quote-unquote high ELO Morigesh player. One-on-one. It's not like I had my phase with me. I had help. Nothing. Obliterated him. So always understand that. Don't let the foolishness of Omega City put fear in your heart. Understand that as MOBA players, you have to, one, learn the game, learn the champions, and understand macro, and understand engage. Engage timings and when it's good to team fight. I'm not gonna lie, even Krashy in this game, as much as I like him as a content creator, and I have nothing against him as a player either, he's a really good player. You know, I don't think we would have won against them without him. He made some really unnecessary aggressive plays, but it fits with who he is as a player. I watch his videos and he's very aggressive, but he didn't need to be aggressive in certain situations when he just had to be able to chill. The reason why I believe the way I believe and I talk with what I talk with such conviction is because, like I said before, I've played MOBAs for a really long time. Started playing MOBAs in 2014. It's almost going to be almost 10 years next year. I've been playing MOBAs, and I've been playing video games for a really long time. Not only MOBAs, but I've been playing shooters. I've been playing competitive video games for a really long time. See, like that right there. He turns up and walks into a two-man, and I'm like, bro, why? And then the Morigesh is there because they grouped up. So the Morigesh, oh no, not the Morigesh, sorry, the Sparrow is there as well. So now he has to blink out and run out, and it's like, yeah, nah, that's not cool, you know? But he made it out, thankfully, you know? But it's like, it's very risky. It's a risky way to play because it's like, okay, you go, you chase, you be aggressive, you turn around, they set a trap, and that's it. And that's how it is in high ELO League of Legends. They set traps. They'll wait in a bush, somebody come around a corner, boom, you get blown up. So I go back to farming. I realized that Maccabee, the Sparrow, is in duo lane, and go back to farming because your skill rises. I wanted to get to a point where yeah, I'm doing decent damage, but I also want to be at a point where I could be of use, because I figured I didn't know like how the game was gonna go. I checked on Omega City afterwards the ELOs of everybody in the game just for the purpose of this video, but in reality I learned early on, like as I was playing, I was like, yeah, the Morigesh, the Bellica, and the Sevarog, they're a trio, you know, they're cute together because just because of the way they played and the way they were always helping each other out. See, the Morigesh kept coming over to the Bellica's lane to help the Bellica out, right? Yeah, I was typing to the Zarus not to fight outside his tower because he was like sitting in lane, and I'm like, they're gonna rotate to him if he stays and tries to fight the Bellica, and all it takes is one knock up and he's dead. So I'm like, all right, nah, gotta can't do that. Krashy has this thing where he likes to take prime really early. I don't know how I feel about taking prime early. Like, I don't know how I feel about it, but I backed and I was like, all right, just so I don't get focused. Because see, Tyler got focused because he went early. So what I did, realizing that those three, again, the Bellica, Morigesh, and Severaga are a trio, or at least, you know, I really thought the whole team was a 5-stack. But realizing this about them, yeah, you're not getting that. Boom, you're dead. Right? So realizing that they're a stack, I was like, I can't engage or I can't be anywhere because the three of them will just converge on me, and if they do, Bellica will knock me up, Severog will root me in place, and Morigesh will kill me. So I already knew that I always had to show up to fights late, but that timing, I would have to get the timing right, because if I didn't time it right, then I'd be too late and then I'd still die. So getting the timing, I was able to do okay. I wasn't doing the best, but yeah. Krashy was mad that I was always in dual lane, but I'm like, I'd never really believed, because he's soloing. The thing with Krashy, which I respect, is that he's a solo queuer, but yeah, the phase flashed as well. Good for him. He's a solo queuer, but the reality is I don't believe in taking prime so early. I think it's risky, especially if you don't have the things for it. Like, yeah, if you all commit, but a full commit around prime is risky. The one thing, and this is something I will bring up in the Predecessor Discord, is I find it weird that you can place a ward and see the health of a enemy champion, but you can't place a ward and see the health of a objective. You know, and that's something I don't understand why they do that, because then you got to be able to see the health in order to be able to steal. They kind of make stealing objectives impossible, and I don't like it. I think it's bad for the game, because if you have a coordinated team, right, it's easy. But I don't know, because like if you have a coordinated team, it's just easy to coordinate and take objectives, whereas yeah, shutter fire. Nah, but so it makes it a lot easier for a coordinated team to take objectives. Whereas in like League, you have a far sight ward that's basically a long range ward. With the long range ward in League, you pretty much with the long range ward, right? So this is where the phase does excellently, because I'm hiding and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get killed, and then she pulls me and I'm like, yes, thank you. So I was able to get the inhibs and get out of there, no issues, which was great. Excellent job by my phase. Yeah, there's this, they call it a far sight alteration in League, and you can basically place a ward from far and it illuminates the area for probably like a second, right? And it gives you an idea of how much health and objective it has, or it lets you see a person. So you basically place a ward on the map and it's far, so you don't have to be right next to the ward or within eyesight of the ward, and it illuminates that part of the map. My thing is it's like, all right, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make the game like League, then yeah, by all means, please make it so that objectives could be seen with wards too, like. And this is how you know not to hate on the player base, but this is just, I'm just bringing it. Somebody had to say it, because I watch Predcast and nobody says it, and I'm like, all right, somebody has to say it. This is how you realize that the player base is not that versed in MOBAs, because not being able to see an objective with a ward, the health of the objective is bananas. Like it drastically just reduces your steal capability. So that's something I need to bring up. Or at least find out why they don't do that, because yeah, Krashy again wants to take Prime right away. Sadly, my phase dies to the what's her name? Phase dies to Morigesh. And yeah, me and Tyler pretty much had to do the. You know, we get out of dodge because it doesn't make sense staying. That's another thing that teams like to do. They'll get the prime and then they'll want to turn around and fight. Like, no, we don't need to fight. It's okay. We don't need to fight, guys. We could just stay. Keep it the way it is. So now we have Prime. We just have to get Fang. Krashy wants to do Fang, of course. And they're doing Fang right now, the three of them. Actually, it's 4 of them? 3 or 4. So I see Krashy go on that side. I'm like, he's going to attract a lot of attention. Let me see if I could thing. The Sparrow is left out, but it didn't matter because the way Sparrow was backing up, she's gonna die anyway. So same thing with the Richter. Then they tried to do it. I was like, let me flash Bellica, and Bellica flashed too. I was like, all right, good. Got a flash out of Bellica. I didn't bother to chase her anymore because Bellica knew she was gonna die. Like, she had already used her knock up. She had nothing else. So if she hadn't flashed, I was just gonna ult her and kill her. So yeah. Krashy healed, and then we went back to doing primal Fang. I don't know. I wish Fangtooth did more. Like, how if you're gonna copy League, like Fangtooth just gives you a stat buff, whereas I wish Fangtooth did more. Like, all right, so right here, the posturing that Krashy and Tyler is doing, I don't see the need for it. Like, it's not necessary. We have Prime. Just push. Like, don't push mid because they have Morigesh and they have Bellica, so they have a better team when it comes to wave clear. So, you know, for me the thing was, alright, why are we doing that? Let's just try and get the thing. Let's just try and get the in-hits. But, you know, it worked out. Bellica died. Severog died. So now the only person alive is Morigesh. And she dies too. That's pretty much it. Thing on ult Morigesh. Boom. She's dead. And that was it. Couldn't have done it without Krashy and Tyler. I mean, Tyler was 10-6. Krashy was 15-8. I was 9-0. I couldn't also have done it. Everybody, it was a team effort. The Zars built Absolution. I don't know if he built Dread or not. Wait, let's go back and see. Did Zars build Dread? Let's go back. Here. Zars built, yes. Zars built Dread, and he built Absolution, which most likely helped him greatly. Which I you know, kudos to him. I made a suggestion as his teammate, and he listened. He built Dread. He built Absolution. Excuse me. Both. Because the thing about it with Dread, all right, so in case you didn't know, so Dread, yes, it gives you damage. It gives you power. But it also, it reduces the amount of damage you take over time. So it's very good against like a Morigesh or even a Bellica with, did Bellica have... No, this Bellica didn't build Megacosm, but the Morigesh did and the Sevarog did. They both built Megacosm, right? And then the Absolution, if you get hard CC, it reduces all damage you take by 40%, I want to say. So that means if you get Sevarog rooted, if you get Bellica stunned, if you get Richter pulled, all your damage, any one of those will cause to trigger Absolution, and it will make you receive reduced damage. So that was a good game. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll have more insights on the next chapter of my diary. Thank you for watching Diary of a Moba Player. Again, my name is Rasputin, aka Raspupu. Please like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful evening. Peace.